Now, although case numbers remain high, and I'll cover the implications of that shortly, they are very much right now on a downward path. To illustrate that point, in the 7 days up to 2nd of July, there were an average of 3,305 new cases being reported each day. But in the 7 days to the 16th of July, that had fallen to an average of 2,112 new cases a day. So that amounts to a decline in the past 2 weeks of more than 1/3, and that is very encouraging. Because of that, we were able to go ahead yesterday with the move to level 0. But as I said a moment ago, case numbers, though they are definitely falling, do remain higher than we should be comfortable with. COVID, as we know, is highly infectious. Indeed, Delta is significantly more transmissible than previous variants of the virus. And although vaccination is weakening the link between COVID cases and serious illness, the virus is still potentially dangerous. And of course, long COVID is affecting many, including those in younger age groups. All of this means that vigilance and care remain really important. Restrictions were eased yesterday as part of a gradual process, but restrictions were not abandoned yesterday. Important measures and mitigations do remain in place, and we continue to ask people across the country, and I do so again today, to treat the threat that COVID poses seriously at this stage. Now, obviously, we want to extend the protection of the vaccine as far as we can. And to that end, the advice yesterday from the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation, the JCVI, on vaccination of 12 to 17-year-olds is important, and I want to spend just a couple of minutes talking about that. At this stage, given that it considers the risk of 12 to 17-year-olds falling seriously ill from COVID to be very low, the JCVI is not recommending that we vaccinate all young people in that 12 to 17-year-old age group. Now, the Scottish Government has always followed the advice of the JCVI, and for good reason. You'll have heard me talk about that before in different contexts, including recently that 8-week interval between first and second doses. But I am acutely aware that some other countries are vaccinating younger teenagers, and I certainly consider it to be extremely important that this is not ruled out here. So to that end, the Chief Medical Officer is writing to the JCVI asking that the benefit of vaccinating all 12 to 17-year-olds is kept under close and ongoing review, and that it takes account of all available data from countries already doing this. And I think that is really important. If there is a benefit to be got from vaccinating younger teenagers, then it's really important that we make sure younger people don't lose out on that. In the meantime, though, and most immediately, we intend to get on with implementing what the JCVI is recommending, and it is recommending that vaccines should be offered to specific groups of 12 to 17-year-olds. Vaccination is already available to 16 and 17-year-olds at higher risk of falling seriously ill, and they will continue to be eligible. But in addition, the JCVI is advising that 12 to 15-year-olds should be eligible for vaccination if they have Down syndrome, severe neurodisabilities or underlying conditions that mean their immune systems are suppressed. In addition, it advises vaccination for 12 to 15-year-olds with severe learning disabilities, with profound and multiple learning disabilities, or who are on the learning disability register. And finally, vaccination is recommended for 12 to 17-year-olds who are household contacts of people with suppressed immune systems. And in that latter case, that is less about the protection of the young person and more about the protection of somebody they may live with. Now, we'll shortly provide details of our operational plans to vaccinate these groups of young people as quickly as possible. And of course, in light of what I said earlier about this advice being kept under review, we will make sure that we are prepared to go further as soon as that is recommended, if indeed that is recommended. Now, the final point on vaccination I want to stress is that if you are currently 17 years old, but if you are due to turn 18 on or before the 31st of October this year, you are now eligible for vaccination as part of this year's programme. You can self-register again through the portal on NHS Inform or go to a drop-in centre. So I want to emphasise this point today. If you, or indeed if you know somebody in this category, if you're due to turn 18 before the end of October, register for an appointment or go to a drop-in centre and get your vaccination as soon as possible.